It's the Rob's Rant Show
with your host, Rob Bell.
Brought to you by 906 Multimedia.
We need to start seriously thinking about hiring more African American police officers so that we can have more African American police officers on the street. Let's talk about that when I come back. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rant. You know, one of the things that I heard on a radio talk show the other day was, instead of shying away from the police department, and we're talking about people in the black community, what we need to do is have a serious campaign on hiring more African American police officers on our police department so that we can place them in African American communities. I know when I was a police officer and I got recruited to work for the police department, and I won't disclose that department, but in an academy class of about 36 recruits, there were 4 minority police recruits in my class, and I was one of the 4. You know, I went through 16 weeks of academy training and 16 weeks of field training, and obviously did well and passed in all of my categories, and as a result was able to get out and work in the community. And I had an opportunity to work in the community in which I lived. And so I knew many of the people in the community, and I got to tell you, that was, it made a big difference in the way that I did policing in the community. The way in which I dealt with people was very professional, very respectful. I looked at the job as being something that was prestigious and something that made me feel good about the fact that I was in my community with my people and ensuring that they were safe, ensuring that the crime level was reduced, and ensuring that they had faith in not only me as a police officer, but the police department in general. And as a result, very rarely did I get into any very serious incidents with people on the street. Now, don't get me wrong, there were situations which required that people were policed in a way that maybe wasn't so favorable to the general public, but they put themselves in that situation. And if people had to get arrested and go to jail, then people had to get arrested and go to jail. I always say, and as a Monday morning quarterback, as I look at some of these most recent incidents that have occurred in the public, I always say it's all in your approach. And I've, as a police officer, responded to a lot of man with a gun calls. And it was always my approach in terms of how I dealt with those men with a gun call. First and foremost, I made sure that I was safe, that my safety was at an all-time high and of the utmost importance. I relied on the way I was trained in terms of how you respond to a situation like that. But most importantly, when I did get on the scene, it was about me controlling the situation. It was about me being the utmost professional in terms of how I dealt with it. It was about me being on my P's and Q's and making sure that not only my life was not in jeopardy, but a third party's life was not in jeopardy as well. And it was about de-escalating the situation to a degree to where everybody walked away from it in a safe manner. In no way was I afraid. In no way did I approach the situation with the mindset of trying to shoot somebody or even kill somebody. In no way was that situation approached to where uh, there will be a controversy or be any question about how I handled that situation. And so it's about your approach, or it should be. It's about your mentality. It's about the people you're dealing with. It's about the respect for the people that you are working with in your community. It's about the way in which you are trained. I have to say proudly that I was trained very well as a police officer, not only in the police academy, but in the field from my field training officers. I had 3 of them in a 16-week period. And in no way would I have passed field training if my response to situations on a daily basis would have been in question. I had very tough but very thorough field training officers. And they made sure that when I completed my field training, that I was a thoroughly trained professional police officer. And I think that's, in a lot of cases, what's lacking with a lot of these police officers out here. Subsequently, I myself became a field training officer because one of the things that the department that I worked for prided itself in was taking the best of the best and sending them to field training officer school, getting them some additional training, and making sure that they trained the new recruits that came out of the academy in a way that will reflect the professionalism of their department. And that's how we were trained. That needs to happen. That needs to be a reoccurring theme in all of these police departments around the country. That needs to be a theme for all of these police officers that are a part of these police departments around the country. If we get back to that, then I will guarantee you that there'll be less incidents that occur where people are getting killed for no apparent reason. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rod Flint.